Hello, this is Randall, the Michigan Tropical Gardener, with Tamarind. I've got two cameras going, so hopefully this will work out. Okay. This is a tamarind pod. When it's ripe, they're hard and brittle. And what you do is you crack them open. Clang. And we'll put them in there. And once you get all the outer pod off, there we go. You end up with this sticky stuff with what look like roots. Just pry that stuff off. And that is the tamarind. Doesn't that look appealing? Of course not. So what you have to do then is remove the seeds. I'm not really sure how you're supposed to do that. I think the easiest way would be to use something to soak it in, put them in water. Okay, there's a seed. Okay, now, isn't that appetizing? Yeah, that is the tamarind with the seeds removed. Now, if you don't want to go through all the trouble of getting your fingers all sticky and trying to dig the seeds out of the stuff, you could just put it into hot water and then let the hot water do the hard work for you. What we're going to do is we're going to make a simple syrup, and then we need to add this to the simple syrup, and then we'll get rid of all the fiber and anything like that. If you don't know how to make a simple syrup, depending on how sweet you want it, an easy formula to go by is 1 cup sugar to 1 cup water. Now, if you want it less sweet, make it 1 cup water to half a cup sugar. If you want it more sweet, you can make it like 1 1/4 cups or 1 1/2 cups of sugar to 1 cup water. And you will put it into a saucepan. I don't have it set up yet. But what you'll do is you put it into a saucepan, put it on, let it boil. Don't touch it, don't mix it. What happens generally if you stir it while it's boiling, it'll crystallize, and you don't want crystallized sugar in there. So if you just leave it alone, it'll boil, and if there's a little sugar in the bottom, you can always move the pot around a little to force it to bubble up and take care of that sugar. Or you could just put the water in there and the sugar, mix it up beforehand, and then put it on the stove and let it boil. So that's where we're at. And I'll get back to you when we're ready. Okay. Here is my saucepan with the sugar and the water. I'm using 1 1/2 cup sugar to 2 cups water. Here is once again the tamarind, and I'm going to use lime juice and some lime zest. There are different ways of doing this. Most of them will use lemon juice, and they will also use light brown sugar. I'm using neither. I do not like lemon in a lot of things. I'd rather have lime, and so that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to put that on, let it boil, and then I will add the tamarind. And then what will happen is that once it separates and we have all that fibrous stuff, then I'll just put it through a sieve or a mesh such as this, and we'll separate that. Add the lime juice and the lime zest, and then I'll put it in the refrigerator overnight, and then tomorrow put it into the ice cream maker. And we'll get back to that at the proper time. Okay, there we go. It's boiling, boiling, boiling. And what will happen is the sugar will dissolve, and you can always change where the pot is sitting if it's not boiling evenly, and that will take care of the sugar. So what will happen, I will either put the tamarind into that and let it boil, or else I will let that make sure that that turns into a simple syrup first, and then put that into a blender with the tamarind and do it that way, blend it up, and then put it back on and let it boil, and then put it through a sieve. Any way you want to do it, I'm sure it'll work out. So that's how we're going to do it. Okay, as you can see, I've got the tamarind in with the simple syrup, and we're going to boil that until the everything is nice and soft, and then I'm going to blend it. There's really not enough in there to use a stick blender, so I'll put it into a blender and blend it up, and then we'll put it through a sieve or put it through a strainer and get the pulp out, and then put it back in there and boil it down a little more. And I'll add the lime juice and lime zest. Okay, we have the liquid now into the blender, and they recommend anything hot, you take the top off and put a towel over it like that, and then blend it. Of course, it's kind of hard holding the camera with one hand doing that with the other. Okay, we're going to put it in. And put it on blend. Okay, now I'll get my strainer and run everything through that. Hello, this is Randall, the Michigan Tropical Gardener, and this is the Tamarind sorbet. I put it through the ice cream maker and put it in the freezer, and it still stays pretty creamy. And there it is. So, there you go. If you want to go through all the trouble of making it, that's what you have. So, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.